Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review of Night Shift by Stephen King. Enjoy! Night Shift is a short story collection that was published in 1978. It features 20 stories, probably the most famous being Children of the Corn, which was adapted into a film, as you can see from the front cover of this book. The short stories range from being creepy to being a bit grotesque to being a bit sad, and I think they really highlight how well-rounded Stephen King is as an author, and even so early on in his career he could write such a wide range of stories that make you feel so many different things. If I was going to talk about all of them, I'd be here all day, so I've picked my top 5. I thought I can give you a quick rundown of those and then you can decide if you want to read it or not, which I would recommend because it was really great. So up first, obviously, it's Children of the Corn. The reason that I put off reading Night Shift for so long is because I knew it did have Children of the Corn in it, and I found that so nerve-wracking to read. What I actually ended up doing was reading all the other books first and then going back to Children of the Corn, so I made it my last story that I read because I just wanted to be able to enjoy it on its own as a little separate thing, and it was great. It was amazing. I'm so pleased that I finally got around to reading it. Children of the Corn is about a group of children who live in an abandoned village, and they have taken on their own god and they follow their own god's rules, and any outsiders will face their wrath. It's probably the quickest way I can sum it up without spoiling too much. Up next I have Trucks. So this is a story about all the motor vehicles in the world coming to life and being possessed. So that includes trucks, cars, planes, anything. And we follow a group of people that are trapped in a roadside diner, and they're just being harassed by trucks outside in the parking lot. And this one I found really unnerved me. It was really spooky. I think it gave me a lot of Christine vibes, but it was probably worse than Christine because it was so short. It just like came in, punched you in the face and then left again. That one was terrifying. Up next, I Am the Doorway. So a lot of the Night Shift book covers are based on this short story, so the hand with the eyes. I can't talk about that one too much without giving it away, but the book cover does that itself. But this one was just really, again, unnerving, really creepy. It made me feel all bleh inside, so yeah, that was great. And finally, Quitters Inc., which is about a company that help people quit smoking through really unethical means and really violent means, and by probably a bit of blackmail in there as well. This one just really creeped me out because I can imagine people doing that in real life. I can imagine it being a real thing. And I think that was the worst part of that story. So the fifth one is The Lawnmower Man. And again, kind of hard to talk about it without ruining it, but a guy comes to mow someone's lawn, but it's all a bit weird. That one, again, just made me physically cringe inside. It was just so alien feeling to read. And yeah, Stephen King has this amazing ability to paint such a vivid picture that you really can feel everything that's happening as you read it. It's like you're sat in the living room watching this man mow the lawn. It all feels so real. He's just such an amazing writer, and this short story collection was actually his first short story collection. So I think although it being its first, it doesn't make it bad. I'm actually amazed at how well written some of the stories in here are. They're just all fantastic. As I say, some of them are creepy, like I Am the Doorway. Some of them are just a bit horrific, like Quitters Inc. And then there are a few that just make you feel sad. So I think there's one called The Last Ring on the Ladder, and that was just sad. That just made me feel sad. I'm glad it was near the end because, yeah, It gets in your feels, which is what you don't expect when you've just been reading about sentient trucks squishing people. So it's amazing how you get pulled all over the shop while reading this book. I love Stephen King, as you all probably know. I'm looking forward to trying to get through more of his work. I have a lot of his books on my shelf that I haven't yet touched. I think because I know I love him so much, I just put off reading him, because it's almost a fear of like, what if I end up being disappointed one day, which I don't think will ever happen. So I should just stop doing that and just read it. But I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 5 stars. I'll probably reread a few of the short stories in here again. A few of them I won't, not because they're bad, but just because I don't want to put myself through that again. And yeah, it was a great book. I enjoyed it. I like short stories because I feel like you can read a few, take a break, maybe dive into something else if it's getting a bit much, and then come back. You don't feel like you're committed to the whole thing in one go. Although I did read the whole thing in one go because I loved it so much. If you've read it, I'm curious as to what you think. Which one's your favourite short story? Which one's your least favourite? I haven't actually thought about that. I think my least favourite, probably The Woman in the Room. I didn't like that one. That was the very last story. That was my, well, I say I didn't like it. I did like it. It was a bit too sad for me. There's also 2 stories in here that reference Salem's Lot, so I would recommend only reading this after you've read Salem's Lot, just because they kind of spoil the plot of that book and spoil some things. But it's no biggie, I don't think, if everyone knows what Salem Lot is about by now, because it's been out for years. So yeah, this was great. I really enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. If you haven't read it, I hope this makes you want to pick it up and read it. And I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.